I lost my motivation. I was doing so well. I fell off the wagon and I don't know how to get back up. So it's really like, what do you do when you lost your motivation? Like, how do you get back to doing what you were doing before, and hopefully you were getting results based on what you were doing before? And first of all, I want to let you guys know that you are not alone. It happens to everybody. It happens to me all of the time. And I know it gets frustrating because it's like, I was doing so well and I really had, a system and I had that momentum. And then something simple as I went camping and I came back and I just couldn't get back onto my healthy eating. Or I went, to a party and maybe you drank too much, and then, Monday rolls around and you just don't have the energy to do your workouts. Or it could just be simple things of like, you just let go of daily walking and just doing some self-care tips, like taking care of yourself once a week, taking a hot bath, getting a massage, going for a pedicure. So all these things really matter, and they matter because they bring balance back into our life. And when we lose that balance, we really feel the effects on our energy, on our outlook, and just how we feel in general. So today we are going to talk about how to get your willpower or motivation back. And I will tell you that I personally don't believe in willpower. I don't think there's anything of the sort. I really believe it's more mind power. It's how you feel that really predicts on the actions that you take. So if you're feeling negative, you're going to follow through with negative actions. If you're feeling positive, you're going to follow through more with positive actions. So it's really, I think it really just starts off from what you are saying to yourself on a daily basis. What messages are you sending yourself? Are they messages that are actually going to help you strive forward, or are they messages that are going to hold you back and make you go backwards? So a good example is you're tired, right? And so you are like, oh, I'm so tired. I just feel lazy today. I feel like doing nothing. I don't even want to think about cooking. I just want to lay on the couch all day. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's going to happen. And you are going to be lazy. You are going to be laying on the couch all day. You will be probably picking up fast food or just kind of munching your way through the pantry and not moving your body. And then when you start thinking that way, your actions follow through, right? And so what's important about breaking that cycle is that if you feel lazy, if you feel tired, I think what you need to really ask yourself is, are these actions really going to help me be a better person? Feel like I want more, like have more energy. Obviously nobody likes to feel lazy. Nobody likes to feel that lethargicness, right? So why would you impact that feeling more? And you're only going to impact that feeling more by your mindset. So if you change your mindset and say something like, oh, I'm just so tired today, but even though I'm tired, I am going to at least prepare my meals for the day because I know I'll be eating healthy, and that will help me bring my energy back so that way I don't fall into a negative spiral, right? So that is a lot different than just saying, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just going to take takeout and just sit on the couch all day, right? So it's all about your mindset. So I think that's where it starts off first. So I never believe in willpower. I believe in mind power. Your brain is the biggest and most strongest muscle in your body, and that is what's going to help you push forward and make you strong. Okay, so what happens when we are lacking of motivation? One of the biggest things that happen, the first thing that happens is we start slipping back into our old habits. You have to remember that your old habits are what got you to want to create a new habit and break those old habits to make you better. So slipping back is not an option. It just really is not an option. And if you sit there and think like, oh, I'm just going to do this once and then I'll just move back on, and get back on the horse, really try to avoid those thoughts and try to avoid those actions, because more chances than not, you will slip back and you will stay there. I know you guys have all done this and you know what I'm talking about. So it's about moving forward, right? So try not to go back into your old habits. A lot of us too, this happens because our goals are just way too big, and that's all we're thinking about. We're thinking about that end goal. I have 100 pounds to lose, or I'm running a marathon, and that's huge for some people. They just never done it, or doing a Spartan race, or do some kind of crazy activity that you've always dreamt about, but the goal is so big and so overwhelming. And when things are overwhelming, it's really hard for our brain to wrap around it. We kind of get a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress over it. We feel like our entire life is just surrounded around this thing. And that is not a healthy relationship with a goal. A healthy relationship with a goal is when you take a big goal and you break it down and you see what is achievable at the time, and you make sure that you celebrate every single step that you progress in. So it doesn't matter how small your achievement is, it is an achievement. It is better than you were yesterday, it is better than where you were last year, and it's probably better than if you didn't do anything at all. So a step forward counts as a step forward. And it's really important to take the but out of your sentences, and I even do it sometimes. I did it actually once, and this week, and big no, never do that again. And because as soon as we say the but, we are totally excusing and erasing all the positive things that we've done. So I'll give you an example. If you're a person that eats out a lot, or used to eat out a lot, and maybe you only do it once a week now, or twice a week, instead of saying, yeah, my diet was really good, but I ate out. No. What you say to yourself is saying, I did really good in my diet, even though I used to eat out all the time, it only happened twice this week, and I'm really proud of that. And that is way more positive. You're focusing on what you have been doing, and stop focusing on what you're not doing. So the positiveness is really important. Again, that mindset, right? That mindset is really going to drive you forward. So if your goals are too big, take it by step, baby steps, break it down. Stop looking at the big picture and just know that you're going to get there and enjoy the journey. If you're not enjoying the journey, it's going to be nothing but stress, because all you're focusing on is that end goal, and it seems so big and so far away, like I'm never going to get there, I'm never going to get there, I'm never going to get there, and then there goes that negative mindset. When you think you're never going to get there, guess what? You're not going to get there. So break it down, stop worrying about it. You know there's a big goal, but enjoy the journey and take the steps that you need to get there, okay? Stop doubting yourself, okay? When you doubt yourself, what happens is, again, that negative mindset, the holding back, the excuses come in and say, well, I don't think I can do this, but, so I'm going to, there goes the but right again, right? So I'm just going to like maybe kind of do it, and maybe not put both feet into the program. So that self-doubt is holding you back. And you got to remember, the only people that make decisions for your life is you. Okay, unless there's somebody like pointing a gun to your head, obviously. But it's really you, and that self-doubt is a huge power. But that self-doubt comes with a lot of fear. And I know fear feels like a real thing for a lot of people, but it really is not a real thing. It is something that we have created in our mind that has so much power. But the only person that gives it that power is you. So stop giving that fear and that doubt the power it does not deserve, because it's really hurting you. Okay? Negative emotions, again, those negative emotions equal negative actions. We need to stop that, right? Again, mind power. That's why I don't call it willpower, it's called mind power. What happens too is a lot of women, they progress, right? So they're seeing changes in the body, they're feeling healthier, they're taking care of themselves, they're moving more than they ever have before, and they're enjoying the journey. But then they get to a point where they're like, I feel really good and I'm really comfortable. And so even though they still have that goal to go for, they still have more to push for, they know that. That sense of comfortness really sets in, and then they stop. They stop what they're doing. They stop working towards their goal. And the problem with that is, imagine you are climbing up a hill and you have a big ball, okay, it's heavy, and you're pushing that ball, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I think I'm halfway up the hill. I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm just gonna kind of stop and sit down and take a break for maybe a week or two, you know, and just kind of enjoy life. Summer's out, my kids aren't back to school yet. Maybe I don't have to go to work yet because I'm on summer break, and I'm just gonna relax and just chill out and enjoy life. Well, eventually that ball behind your back ends up getting really heavy, right? And you slowly start creeping down the hill again, getting back to those old habits. So that's what happens a lot with some of the women I work with. They get really good results, they're really happy, they get comfortable even though they have bigger goals to go for, and they stop. You don't stop, you keep moving. If you want a break, well, don't move so fast. Maybe, you know, don't set goals every single week. Maybe take that 1 week goal and stretch it out to 3 weeks and just maintain that small goal, like drinking more water, for example. For 3 weeks instead of changing your goal every single week. That's going to help you still maintain what you have gained in terms of the losses or the strength or whatever is your goal. It's going to help you make sure that you don't lose that momentum. The momentum is still going, but just at a slower pace, but you're still going uphill, right? That's what matters. You're still going uphill. You're not going back down. And then just make sure that that progression continues going, right? Because rolling the ball upwards is a lot easier than stopping and then rolling it up again. Because when you stop and you roll up that ball again, you're eventually going to take 5 or 10 steps backwards to get that push back up. Does that make sense, you guys? I think that makes sense. Okay, another thing, self-reward and self-rewarding yourself with bad habits. So you've done really well, you're doing good, you accomplished an amazing week, you didn't eat junk food, you moved your body. Sunday comes along, you're like, I did so good this week, I deserve to eat so, and this. Or I deserve to not take care of myself, right? And so the problem with that is that you are creating a bad relationship specifically with food. Like if you use food as a reward, you're creating a bad relationship. And this is no different than what our parents have done to us without them knowing, obviously, using love and food together. You hurt yourself, you fell down the stairs. Oh honey, are you okay? Would you like some ice cream? You know, you bumped your head like on the swing. Oh sweetheart, oh here's a lollipop, you know. And so you're creating a relationship of soothing emotions with food. And you're celebrating with food. And food is really meant for nourishment. And I know that's really hard for a lot of us because we go to parties and there's food. You celebrate birthdays with food. You celebrate weddings with food. Everything, anniversaries, everything is around food. And I think the more you practice not celebrating things with food, you're really going to understand that you can celebrate life in so many different ways, right? So for example, my birthday just passed last week on Thursday, and I did not celebrate with food at all. Now, yes, I'm doing a women's fitness competition, so for me to eat and celebrate with food is a little bit difficult, but I actually pushed my goal a little bit further. So no, I'm not going to celebrate with food because if I really wanted to, I could be really picky and choosy off the menu at a restaurant and eat what they give me. But I didn't want to celebrate that way because I want to practice what I preach to my clients. So what did I do? I did other things that I love and enjoy. I went and spent time with my daughter. I went to go dancing classes. I went and got a massage. So those are other types of self-care that I did to celebrate. And you can do those same things with the people that you love. Go out for coffee, go out for a cup of tea. It doesn't have to be food, right? So don't reward yourself with bad habits, especially those bad habits that got you into the situation or problem that you're in. Now, we're going to talk about how do we create mind power, right? So I don't believe in willpower. How do we create mind power? So first of all, you need to have a clear vision of where you are going. You need to really understand your goals, and they need to have some kind of really good value. So for example, a non-valuable goal to me would be something like if a client came to me and says, oh, I just want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? I don't know, I just want to lose weight. I just know I'm going to feel better. But what is that going to make you feel? How is that going to change your life? I don't know, I can go shopping better, like enjoy clothes a little bit more, maybe fit in with my girlfriends. Well, I will honestly tell you that client is going to be a very short-lived client. She is going to be a very short-term goal client. She is going to, as soon as any interruptions happen in her life, she's going to be steered away and she's going to be gobbled up. Why? Because her goals are not strong enough. They're not deep enough. They don't have enough meaning. They don't have enough weight to hold her down long-term. And so you need to ask yourself that question. Why am I wanting to get healthy? What am I going to get out of it? How is it going to change my life? What is it going to bring into my life? How will I become a better person? How is it going to make me a better mother, wife, daughter, whatever the situation may be? How is it going to literally impact your life in more ways than one? Yes, shopping is fun. I'm a girl too. I love shopping. But really, that is a really short-lived sense of joy, right? You know, so if your goals are a little bit more deeper, something like, I have a daughter and I really don't want my daughter falling into the negative spiral of hating her body and talking bad about herself to herself and believing in those thoughts and allowing her to fall into relationships that are emotionally abusive because, well, she's been doing it all her life to herself and it's the only thing that she is accustomed to. I want to raise a daughter who has self-confidence in herself, loving herself, taking care of herself, and cherishing herself so that way when she comes into a relationship with a man, that she knows what true care feels like and she's going to have a very high level of expectations. You see, that is a lot deeper goal, right? Even though I'm doing something for myself, it's something really that's going to reflect on my future, which is my daughter. So that's the reason why I do what I do, right? Besides doing it for myself, I want to help other women. I love helping other women push through this hard time in life because we have such a message thrown to us every single day that we have to look and be somebody that we are not. And we are all beautiful in our own way, in our own form. So you need to find your own beauty and you need to make sure that the goals that you set are actually deep and you need to know where you're heading, okay? Sometimes we need to go back to the drawing board and reset our goals. Sometimes our goals change, life changes, we change. We become more mature with every single day that passes. So sometimes your goal before was just maybe a little bit too big, or maybe it was insignificant and there wasn't enough depth to it. So maybe going back to the drawing board and rewrite your goals and see what is it that you're really after. Okay, sometimes that is the best place to start. I just have notes down here. Also, focusing on what you need to attack first. And I'm the kind of person that I like reward first, and most people are like that. When you see reward first, when you see results first, it pushes you forward to keep going, right? So I like to attack the things that are really not helping me first, right? So the things, habits that I'm creating, for example, for most women that I work with, it is really not the fitness at all. Like, they know how to move the body. They come into the gym with me. They work their asses off and they are doing awesome and they're burning like 400, 500, 700 calories in a session. But it's when they leave that's the problem. It's that mindset again. It's that negative self-talking, right? It's that bad habits going to food and not taking care of what they're feeding their body. So you need to look at yourself and say, is it my diet that is really affecting me not to achieve my goals? And what part of your diet that is really affecting you? Is it, I eat clean, but I just don't drink enough water? Okay, start there. Start there. That is gonna make the biggest impact because you know what it is. Nobody needs to tell you. You know automatically what it is that you need to do, right? You might need a coach to hold you accountable, which is a big plus. But most of us know what we are doing wrong and what we need to focus on first. Is it when it comes to meals? Is it that you know how to eat healthy, but you're always scrambled for time and you can't always make the best choices, right? Because in the circumstance that you're in, the environment that you're in. Okay, so maybe meal prepping is your thing. Maybe you need to prep your meals in the week for your crazy week, and that's gonna help you, stay focused. For some people who it is fitness and they want to work out, but they never get around to it, It's about making it a priority. You need to look at your fitness like a job. You go in for an hour, you clock in, you clock out. You never get a job where a boss says, oh, come in whenever you want, whenever you feel like it. Whenever that alarm clock, sets off and you feel like you got the energy to do it. No, you need to make it a priority. You need to set it in your phone, put an alarm clock in, put it on your calendar. This is when I'm doing this, and commit to it. And if you need a little bit further accountability, then you grab a friend to hold you accountable. And if you don't have that, then you hire a coach. Okay, that's what coaches are really good for. We really hold you accountable, because that's our job. So focus on what needs to be done first, right? And then attack one problem at a time. Most of us, a lot of us, right, we want to think like we're multitaskers, like we can do everything, we can juggle so many balls in the air, but really when it comes to our lifestyle and health, we can't. It's very difficult, it's extremely stressful, and why would you put more anxiety into an already big goal, stressful situation? So deal with one problem at a time. Once you say, for example, have enough water in your diet, you've repeated that for 2 weeks and now it's become a habit, attack the next thing that needs to be dealt with. And then go slowly, right? Especially at the age of 40, women over the age of 40, we no longer have that ability to multitask like we used to. And multitasking has shown in science, brain chemistry science, that it actually causes depression in women. So it's really not good for us. Focus on one thing at a time. Okay, it's really vital that you do that. Other things that you need to probably go to is go back to basics. Go back to what you know that has worked before. For me, example, food logging, which is why I log my food every single day. It works for me. As soon as I get off of it, I'm a complete mess. I'm a kind of person that I like to feel like I have control over certain things, and that control for me feels good. I'm not really focusing on calories maybe per se, unless like I'm, feeling like I'm getting bigger, then I look back, I look at my calories. It's just a sense of accountability and tracking device for me, right? For some people, maybe it's prepping meals. For some people, maybe it's more self-care, right? Maybe you got the workout in, maybe you got the nutrition pack, but you're highly stressed and you don't have that balance in your life. You need that balance. So for everybody, it's different things. Go back to basics, do what you did before, redo it, and stick with that. Sometimes that's all you need to get you back on that horse, okay? The other things and last thing that we need to focus on is focus on what, where, how, and when. So for example, workouts. When are you gonna do them? Write them down. Who are you gonna do them with? Call that person or make yourself accountable, right? Where are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it in the gym? Are you gonna do it at home? Are you gonna do it at the park? Are you gonna go see your personal trainer? You need to write those things down. Same thing goes with nutrition. What are you gonna be eating? When are you gonna be preparing it? When are you going to be eating it? Who are you going to be eating it with, right? All those things are really important. Do you guys understand what I'm getting at? Okay? And then the last thing you probably need to do too is like be honest with yourself, right? We want to focus on positive, obviously, and we also want to focus on things that we need to work on. So I make 2 lists. Everything that I got down pat and everything that I'm accomplishing, and then my struggles, right? And so when you look at your struggle list, you pick one out and focus on that, and then take that struggle and then put it on the positive list, right? Eventually goes to the positive list, and then focus and keep going back and forth. And then eventually you're going to eventually see that you are actually accomplishing a lot more than what you give yourself credit for. So remember, you guys, it is the mindset. It is mind power versus over willpower. There's no such thing as willpower. There just isn't. It's how you live your life every day, and it's how you progress into that motivation, into that rolling the ball up the hill and creating that momentum of lifestyle.